Welcome to another episode of One Step Ahead, our referee development program. We're focusing on referee coaching trends of the game in terms of the pointers that referee coaches have picked up from the latest NYC, so 2022 NYC. The video footage that we're going to use are just simple extracts from day one. There's so much more footage you can watch on KO, also on affiliate websites that have taken their own videos and posted. So get out there, have a look at some footage and see what you can find. So 4 core trends that came from games at the 2022 National Youth Championships. Number 1, 7-meter management. This is the number 1 focus that all referees should be focusing on to ensure that they're getting right. We saw a lack of presence, lots of rolling rather than setting. In the videos that you'll see this quite often, and at different rates and at different standards and for different reasons. We'll go through some of those a little bit later. We saw a lot of penalties on fields outside of the primary field, so outside of the KO field footage that you'll see, and that was primarily due to a lack of preloading and a lack of advantage taking place. And then there was also a lack of teamwork, so that means that we didn't have that nice straight line across with our 3 referees having that sideline support talking 2-2-2. So our sideline referee talking to the wing and link, allowing our middle referee or our control referee to actually manage those middles and out to the links to ensure that that next key defender was onside before they were able to get involved in the play. So quite often on a subset, we'd have that umbrella effect that really does create issues with the wing and link not getting back on side and getting to shut down too early. So second key trend then became sideline referee. So positioning, that was the number 1 factor. Our positioning, we're too far away from the winger. It means that we have late or no effective transition when we move to get into our field position. And it means that we're then late on entry, late for the first touch, late from then on in. So if we can get our positioning correct for those 2 factors, so 1, when we are off the field and assisting with the 7-meter management, we are right beside that winger, 1 to 2 meters away from that winger at all times until we get down into that 7-meter zone, or obviously if they're attacking your side of the field. Timing for our transition to get onto the field is a critical aspect that we saw that all level of badges had some issues. So ensuring that you understand when the ball is coming your way for you to transition from in front of the defensive line, talking across them, to behind the defensive line, to then field entry. So the easiest way to fix that is through communication. As soon as you, as the off-field referee, realize that it's going to be a subset or an interchange is viable, you talk to your buddy referee, your control referee. The play before they're coming off, if there's enough time to do this, they should be saying to you, you've got the next one, which gives you the opportunity, if you haven't already transitioned because you haven't read it, to go, okay, I need to move now to get into that position to then get on the field. If you leave it beyond that point, it's too late. And you'll have an ineffective field entry, which means late set, late control, poor management, late comms, a whole spectrum of issues. That then doesn't stop there. It then compounds all the way down the field. Okay. Second point in the sideline referee is support. Quite often we saw referees switch off when they left the field. So exiting the field, you exit the field, you stay focused on the interchange area, you support the 7-meter management for your on-field or your control referee. Okay. Too often, and you'll see it in these videos, even on the showcase field, referees would come off the field and they'd be nowhere near setting the 7 or supporting the 7. So either the umbrella effect occurred, or there were challenges or other aspects that related to the game that the on-field referee just didn't manage well because they were almost by themselves. There was a lack of teamwork or support there. So third point then, communication. Of course, communication is critical. We should be able to get through a game with minimal penalties if we preload effectively, if we communicate well. Quite often we saw a minimal preloading, particularly around the touch count, where we wanted defenders and what we wanted to see in the touch itself. And then we didn't see a lot of targeted specific, or hear a lot of targeted specific language around individuals and what we needed to see from them. So that led to unnecessary penalties, which then of course leads to late calls of offside because we haven't preloaded, which disadvantages the defender in question who thought they were already onside. So then sometimes we'd have a play on situation occur for those that did play advantage, but the call was so late that really the player had no opportunity to fix the mistake or error, even though they thought they'd made it onside. So we've really got to get our communication out much earlier, make sure that it's clear, direct, and targeted to whoever it is that we want. Brings us to our fourth point, which is advantage. We need to make sure that we're not doing this double whistle blow, triple whistle blow that I'm seeing coming in from a lot of New South Wales referees in particular. Not to say, or like one area is doing one thing wrong, but a lot of those referees are doing this. So they'll blow the whistle straight away. It'll be like a doo-doo. Everyone stops, then they run to the mark, then they blow their penalty. So there's no opportunity at all for advantage. It's taking that straight out of the game. All we need to do instead of that is run towards our mark, verbalize what's happened. As we get to our mark, we should have given enough time for any advantage to take place. By then, we blow our whistle, give our signal, set the mark, tell people where to go back 10 or wherever it is. Okay, so it might not be back 10 if we're already back from the mark because it's an offside penalty or whatever else. We're just taking a few steps back. But we've really got to tidy up these factors, these 4 factors: 7-meter management, sideline referee support or teamwork, communication, and advantage. If we can get those 4 operating better in our games, the game outcomes will improve. The game itself will improve. It won't be limited by the capacity of the players. We will be able to enhance the game standard and therefore the game outcomes. That's what we're there for. So, got some footage from day 1 of the 2022 National Youth Championships. As I said at the start, there's plenty more footage that we haven't put on here. This was just a quick, let's cut and grab some footage, throw it in here for you to have a look at what's going on. Again, remember, as we identified those 4 key trends, we went to every field across the entire 4 days. It wasn't just from field 3 on days 1 and 2, fields 1 on days 3 and 4, which were the KO filmed fields. Feel free to go grab your freebies on KO to watch any of the footage on those fields on those days. I'd highly recommend. There was some quality refereeing that we are not showing in this video clip on purpose. Now that said, you will see some quality officiating in some of these clips, but it's not consistent across the clips. So that's why we've got these in here. If you can identify other trends, which I'd suggest you would be able to, feel free to reach out and let us know. If you can think of any ways to come up with a solution to those problems using the PRO method, so problem or the root cause, suggesting a remedy for the ideal outcome, and then ensuring that the referee understands that, then we would love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to link in and email them through or comment on the video. Remembering that we didn't pick up on every single aspect in this clip. There's plenty of other elements that were spoken about by referee coaches. These were just the critical 4 that I came up with initially, shared with the national panel, and they reviewed and came back to me saying, yes, that's correct. They're the 4 that we want to focus on. Again, nobody is saying that the others are not important or didn't occur or don't exist. But when you're referee coaching, here's a critical tip for you. Don't identify everything to a referee. It's too much. You can identify so much in a game, it's not funny. Try to identify what's happening. Try to identify the root cause of the problem. So you might see 3 or 4 problems occur, but it may all come back to one simple thing. It may have been a late field entry, which then resulted in lack of player management or late comms, lack of presence in the first, second, and third touches because they were still scrambling to get back there. Like there's a whole spectrum of things that can happen. If you can identify the root cause, you have the best opportunity to fix the problem. All right. And be quiet, play a couple of video clips, see what you can work out. I'll give you some pro remedy stuff as we go through at the end of a couple of clips for 2 of the 4 sections after 3 or 4 clips, and then another 2 after the next 3 or 4. So good luck, have fun, enjoy, and hopefully you learn something from all of this.
A little bit slippery out there, a few patchy places out on the field, but that was half a chance away from opening points there from the Sharks.
Yeah, nice little play too, to just open up the space, and he's hit the hole beautifully, and then the ball's bounced off his head. What you tend to find is that these are brand new touch footballs that are given out to all of the clubs, all of the entities yesterday, and when they get just that little bit of moisture on them early on, they can be just that little bit slick on the brand new coating until it just sort of gets a few hands onto it and wears down a little bit. So
much better set there from CCC. As we see now the Sharks come up with their first error of the match. So this is a big chance here for the boys in blue. Again, did come off that great set the previous time around. Finishing it off down the other end of the field. And the Sharks come up with mistakes. They played on the 7-metre line, looking for a left to right looping bit of space out there as well. They will come back for the forward pass. Not a bad little option there for them to go early in the touch count.
Yeah, it's not too bad, and they've just had a try, and certainly sweep play covered comfortably by the Sharks, and then the long left to right ball tricky to do at the best of times. Just drifted a little bit forward.
Coming in towards the back end of the set now. Kaitika comes back midfield. We get into half. Picks up, left foot. And they go short as well. Nice diving effort right on the line. They've gone that short ball 2 times now. Still haven't come up with points, but not too far away. The Sharks showing a couple of questions at the CCC line in defence. Bit of pressure here as New South Wales come out of the end of their field, flirting with the sideline. Now, struggling to get forward. This is a big defensive set here for the South Queensland Sharks. Still a bit flat-footed in the midfield. Sprague there takes a little bit of a slip, but that was a big defensive set there for the Sharks. They mounted a lot of pressure. They're going to get themselves in a good attacking position this set of 6.
Yeah, they had some good aggression there in defence. Van McDonald, number 9 for the Sharks, as he was coming through, managed to cop a straight arm from the referee across the side of their head as he was shooting up, and still went through and made a good strong touch.
Sharks look to sweep, but incorrect play the ball. It's picked up from the on-field referees. Triple C are looking for a cleaner set this time around. Been a little bit up and down coming out of their end of the field. We had 2 bad sets, 1 decent one. This is better for them now, so roll over the halfway line. Nice pick up and go from half. Players offside from South Queensland. Eventually get back on. I think he was acting half, which is the call as well. Good composure there from Bailey Robb. Just held his position, was offside originally, but it is Robb who comes up with the mistake this time around. Another mistake coming out of their end of the field. So good position here for Triple C. Liam Ison dishes off. And Seb Playster. Be one to watch for the New South Wales team. In the half, early ball. Dive to the line. Jack Attard.
Looking to set up the same play twice in a row there. With that little sweep with that Attard roping around the outside.
Half again, skipping. Nice little footwork as well.
Attard's hit the wrong hole there. I don't know if that's a pre-planned thing, but if he stays wider, I think that half might get through in that space there. He's just taking the space away from him.
Sharks now will get changes onto the field, so get over the halfway line. Stretch, reel that one in. Arnold sends it back in, comes from half, just picks up and goes and looks to gas. Half again. They will get the penalty though, players offside. Worth a crack there.
Change of pace was impressive, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
just put the foot down straight away. Not a bad option that then of the field. He's picked his team up another full set of 6. Here he goes again, ball in hand.
Riley Pollard sniping in from the link, just to shut him down.
Robson plays it in the 7. Start step coming into the line. Money roll away. We'll play it now on the 7-metre line. Receives it back. Comes back up in the midfield with Harry McNamara. Sweeper holds. Gets into half now as McNamara feeds it out the back. Good slide defence. It's been a good coast. Just looked a little bit out of shape, and Hayden Craig heading over to the interchange box, left him a man short as well. This one's a good chance for them in good field position. Still in Knobs in the number 9, dancing around. Chance for them here. Tyson Gillaway comes back in towards the midfield. Getting away from defenders. They play within the 7-metre line now, having a dive in at the line. And 5th touch again. Their defence has been good on the line. Zelensky making the touch for Sunny Coast. There go the big dummy there, Riley Madden, and can't squeeze through yet again. Defence pretty good from the Sunny Coast.
It's been great, hasn't it, Scotty? And it's been pretty even so far, I think. Both teams have, defended their line really well. So it'll be interesting to see who gets his first try.
The Coast this time going away from the substitution side of the field, but the on-field referees have picked up a forward pass in the midfield. The Swans will get us back underway. Riley Madden. Field position again for South Queensland. Brock Sankey dishes. Get away from one, they kick out, they've got the numbers this time around. Ooh, may have just thrown the pass a little bit too early. And the opportunity for the Sunshine Coast defence to slide and get out. Half a chance there for the Swans as the sweep comes around the back. They go away from the sweep, they go back that way now. It's come off fingertips, play on's the call. Another full set of 6 here for Southwest Queensland and more pressure on the sunny coast. Can their defence hold up? They've done a good job so far in this first half. I feel like it might just be a matter of time before the Swans are able to capitalise. Can they do it this set? They've got numbers in space out here and they will finally crack and get the first points. Tristan Lawrence will. But the little half opportunities that CCC have had, they just made full use of it then to get the first points on the board.
Yeah, it was a good little eyes up play there. Looked like the link was fading out and the winger was good enough to bounce out and showed a clean pair of heels down the sideline to score.
So the Cyclones will be looking to hit back here. Just getting themselves into position. Tara Kelly will play it. Angus from half. Comes back to Kelly. A bit flat-footed coming into the last touch. And Amy Angus will turn the ball back over to the New South Wales team.
CCC doing a really good job of getting out of their own end every time they get given the ball.
Last touch for them now. Pick up and go, looking for offside players. The referee is happy that they made it back at the point in contact when the touch was made. It was worth a shot though. Pick up and go from half. Penalty to the NQ team. Referee there might have thought that the penalty was going the other way. He was starting to head towards the NQ Cyclones team. Gets back into position now. As the penalty does go in favour of the team from NQ. Looking to try and capitalise on this field position and in the penalty which they receive. Just probably haven't had the polish on the back end of their sets as of yet. We're going to touch 4 and 5. It's a little bit better rolling into the line, but getting straight into defence, and it is fifth touch. They're going to have to come up with a bit of an all or nothing play, and we're slipping in between defenders there, stretching dive. Shuts that final play down.
NQ looked a lot better there in their organisation, moving into the line, running something constructive against the CCC defence.
Okay, so you've had the opportunity to watch 4 clips now. I want to talk about 7-metre management. Now you can pause this at any point in time if you want to read through this. I'm not going to read through all of it. As you can see from the clip there in front of you, I have identified 3 possible root causes for a lack of presence or lots of rolling rather than setting. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them in detail, but the primary root cause, generally speaking, is a lack or late transition from the sideline 7-metre management position to the interchange position. Results in a very late field entry and consequently late setting of touches. The remedy for that: read the play, anticipate the interchange early, make sure you're communicating nice and early to each other and then to players. Move into your transition position the touch prior, if not the touch prior to that, so long as it's not impacting on your 7-metre management support, and then straight into your field entry position. The outcome, if you do this effectively, will be early field entry, enhanced 7-metre management and presence, and in turn resulting in your additional time to set your 7 metres and preload those players nice and early. Okay, there's 2 other secondary root causes that I've identified there from what I've seen happening on fields. Feel free to pause if you want to read through all of that, because this may help a lot. A lot of these secondary root causes are more evident, especially in our upcoming referee style levels 1s, 2s, and 3s, but it did happen quite a lot at this event as well. So as I said, pause the video at any time, take screen captures, email me if you want copies of stuff, whatever it is that you need to, in terms of support. Please reach out if you do want some, even if it's just for a chat around specific things. You want to share some video footage, you want some ideas, any of that kind of stuff, that's what we're here for. All right, moving on, because I don't want to bog us down. Lots of penalties, primarily due to a lack of preloading and advantage. The primary root cause in this instance was minimal and late communication. Often it was being post-touch without being targeted and specific. Now, I've mentioned this before. We must get our preloading in. We must be targeted and specific. We must ensure that the player that we're looking at to make a change in what their behavior is early, direct, and they understand and they get it. Think, for example, you're in a classroom. Teacher gives you an instruction and then says your name. Maybe you're listening, maybe you weren't. So now you're not sure what to do. If they said your name and then the instruction, you would have switched on straight away and potentially had a greater opportunity to do what they said. That's the exact same thing here on the field. We give the player's number first, then the instruction so they know and everyone else knows who we're referring to. Even better still, if it's an opportunity to play an advantage, we point that player out. Okay, anyway, our remedy is then obviously the preload, pre-touch stuff that I just spoke about. Your management can be around touch count, touch expectation, and the onside requirements, all three of those. The touch expectation could be an easy in kind of statement. It could be a keep moving forward until the touch is imminent kind of thing. But obviously you're not going to use that many words. So you've got to think about how you're going to get it out and how it's going to be effective. Use the numbers followed by the action. That's how we get the fast player reaction. That's how we get the opportunity to free up penalties, to give advantage, but to give both sides equal opportunity to rectify any wrongs before it's an issue for us. So before it becomes a penalty situation. Again, outcome then, improved player management, less penalties, increased opportunity to play advantage, much better free flowing game. Okay, just from that alone, you are enhancing the game outcomes. So third thing with 7-meter management, the lack of teamwork, sideline support due to lack of comms distance from the winger. The primary problem, sideline referees out of position, hugging the sideline, switching off on exit, resulting in undesirable umbrella effect. Now, I'm assuming you all know what that means. It basically just means the wing and link aren't getting onside, so they're able to shut the play down early, or they're able to stop the play actually coming all the way across in a subset effectively. Remedy for that, move into a position 1 to 2 meters from the winger. Use your proximity. Talk to the winger and the link. Talk into the middle when you require it because your buddy referee hasn't picked them up, but ensure that your buddy referee is hearing you the whole time. He's the one or she's the one that needs to know what's happening. If they can pick up the trends that you're giving to them, they can effectively move themselves if they need to, or raise their voice if they need to, or do another number of other elements, including proximity use, transfer of voice, etc., to ensure that they're then hitting the mark, adjusting those players' behavior to get them onside if they're offside. We always must remain active and involved in the game. Okay. If we can do this, that straight 7-meter line will occur where all three referees are effectively communicating and working together. How awesome would that be? Every single touch, that's what we try to achieve. And by doing these things, that's what we will achieve. That will open the game up, become more free-flowing, as we've said before. If you can get your 7-meter management correct, your teamwork and your communication have to be correct with it, then all three of them make the game work. All right. Communication. So we've got two things here, lack of preloading and targeted specific language. We've already mentioned that before. Generally, it comes from late and generalized communication used, as we've already said. I'm not going to read through all this because it's basically what I've mentioned already. Feel free to come in here, have a read, pause, screenshot, whatever you need to do. The information's there. The next one, late calls of offside, disadvantaging the defender in question who thought they were onside. Same thing, already mentioned it. Root cause, a lack of preloading, late offside identification and call. We must identify players early. We must give them every opportunity to rectify the situation if we believe they are not onside. Again, it comes back to that pre-touch preloading. All of our management needs to be early, clear, and decisive. If we can do that, you already know what happens. Not only are players now onside rather than offside, they've got the opportunity to get onside without penalties that block up and slow up the game. It reduces player frustration. It provides that freer flowing game that we've been speaking about. All right. Again, if you need more time to read through that, feel free. Pause, reflect, talk with someone else about it. Find some other footage that you can find of yourself in action and look at these aspects. Are you hitting the mark on these? Are there aspects that you can improve on just by listening to us talking about this? If not, and you think you're okay, but you're really not 100% sure, send me a clip. Happy to analyze at any point in time, send stuff back to you. If you're wanting to go to that next level of refereeing, whether it's an upgrade or just improvement in your current standard, utilize the support that's out there. Okay, we're always here if you need help. Just have to reach out. Okay, next 4 clips, and then we'll talk about some more pro remedies.
Taylor, back towards the middle with Boone. Boone, 7 metres into the opposition side of the field. Grant, coming across, last play now. Ooh, nearly an issue in the play the ball there. The big dummy comes and stepping off the right foot was Hammond, but couldn't find any opening whatsoever. So good defence on that occasion from the Hornets.
Perfect defence from Hornets. Great rucking from Coppers too, got all the way down there.
So the Hornets now heading towards their substitutions box, wanting a quick transition. Not a bad one either, especially if you can get it within the first 3 or so plays. Up over halfway they come now. Support arriving in the form of Nicholas. Got a try in the first match. Here is the last now, Nicholas. Oh, just couldn't find an opening. It was Grant who stood tall. Closed it down very quickly. So Cobras now on the attack. Boone heading up towards halfway. Plays it all. Delayed pass there. Nearly overran it. Eventually shifted on from Grant and the reinforcements arrive. Here's Murphy now. Getting into first receiver, straightening up. Then finding a great pass. They've unleashed an option out on the wing here, and Charlotte Vandermeer will capitalise. It's the first try of the match, and the Pain Away scoreboard reads 1-0. The 18 boys division, the South Queensland Sharks taking on the Southwest Queensland Swans, who will get first use of the ball. James Preston and Danny Davis, the Australian Women's Open representative, joining me for expert comments as the Swans go very close to the line. Danny, a very good afternoon to you.
Thanks, James. I'm happy to be here and watching a little bit of Queensland affiliate rivalry happening right before our eyes.
Yes, it is all a banana bender fixture, that must be said. As forward we come here for the Sharks, looking to find just a bit of an opening here through McDonald, who gets up towards the halfway line. Now to McNamara off the left foot. McNamara again, shifting back on the inside, directly on halfway now to McDonald. McDonald drops it off. McNamara once more. It's the double M show at the moment, M&M if you will. Over the top. Oh, not a bad ball, but just a bit too much for Taker to take in.
Yeah, a bit unlucky there. I thought they would have tried to use a little bit more of the width of the field and had a little bit more depth running onto it, but they just looked a bit flustered.
So the Swans now with a chance to respond in like kind, just slowing things down to get those extra players onto the pitch. Gillaway now comes forward. Fired on here from Lawrence. And now a nice little strike dump here, still moving away. Oh, great movement for that matter. Finding support. That's a beautiful try from the Southwest Queensland Swans. Beautiful setup play as well from Taylor Cuthbert-Hoff. The Southwest Queensland Swans, the ball is played here. And on the attack they come once more through Hahipene Mooseman. He goes very close to the line. A watchful defence from Young. He got down low and stopped him. Taker with the dummy, now playing on the 7 metre mark. Rangi Ruahe over the top. Oh, good ball and good hands for that matter as well. But once more, strong defence sliding across nicely there, the Swans.
It'll be really interesting to see how Swans respond to this just after scoring off the last set. If they can try and get another early try here, it'll put them in a really good position.
A bit of pace about that pass there from Lawrence as he heads back toward the middle once more. Nobbs driving forward. Nice strike dump from him. Long ball over the top. Oh, well watched in defence. There was no way they were going to get through the defence there of Daniel Wong and the number 18. So they've managed to recover just a little bit after a bit of a nervous start here, the Sharks side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if they get this rucking right and get some fresh commentators curse.
From the pair of us for that matter.
Absolutely.
So the Swans have another look at the line here. They'll keep marching forward as another reinforcement arrives in the form of Bailey Bob, Brock Taylor, who's onto the pitch now for the Southwest Queensland Swans out there in the number 6. Touch comes up, so they drive forward here. Madden finding support, now waiting at acting half, no touch as of yet. Madden eventually receives it though. They haven't stepped up, so they've earned the penalty there. Smart play from the Swans.
This will give Swans a really good opportunity to run a few of their set plays here and go to a few of their strikes. Not really familiar with the Swans team, so it'll be interesting to see who really steps up here for this set of line attack.
Sankey is caught close to the line, so he heads back to the 7 metre mark to play it. Sankey off now to Nobbs. Back to Sankey. And Nobbs once more. Sankey and Nobbs show at the moment. Dropped off. Madden now sweeping around. Oh, lovely delay on the pass. Well read though in defence, however they were offside. Advantage being played. Felicie Frost was waiting on the wing for the Sharks to shut it down. Another set to work with here though for the Swans. Nobbs slowing things down. Wants the defence to pop up to him. Oh, Nobbs looking sharp on that right foot. Even the head got involved in just a moment. Knobs right to left, finds Madden. Madden again, they're happy to slow things down here, the Swans. Ooh, a little round the corner ball. Great ball for that matter. The tip-on comes quickly, and it's try time for Trey Luca. 2 tries to 0 on the Pain Away scoreboard.
Good. So, while defending their line, multiple sets, they must be happy with the way that they've started defensively. They've held out the North Queensland team. They haven't been able to crack them as of yet. Cyclones now trying to put a little bit of defensive pressure on as CCC make their way towards changes, but they go away from the sub box in the end. It was good work from Tyler Brown, picking up good meters. And the opportunity to get forward. Brown again from half. Got a little bit more direct. Jade Patterson on the previous play. Try and pick up and go from half. They're doing a good job though. They started all the way down the other end and they're finishing off down the right end of the field.
Yeah, the coach would be really happy being able to defend 2 or 3 sets on the line and then being able to go 70 metres.
ZQ now putting the ball through the hand. A little bit of space out here on the right hand side. Getting away from the first defender. There's Burbridge. And realigns, takes the touch. NQ. Good momentum. And off the fingertips. Looking for another set of 6 there. Rihanna Cassidy not going in her favour. It's a pretty tight tussle between these two teams. No one really able to grab the ascendancy, although NQ probably had the better of the field position so far. CCC are transitioning and they're getting down the other end of the field pretty well yet again. Gibson in the half, picks up and goes, and straight back into the NQ defender. And I'm also making the touch there. And the team able to crack at the moment, Pat.
Yeah, it's a bit of a arm wrestle at the moment. No one's really willing to give the other side an inch. Be interesting to see if there's a try, if it sort of opens up a little bit.
Good space down the right hand side. Wanting to number 10 for the Cyclones. We'll see the ball just spill out of the hands. And Youngest there. As it is starting to get a little bit darker as well, the light's taking effect. Space down here on the right hand side, and they will streak away for the first point. It is the number 12, Tyler Brown. We saw her pick up really good meters. She is lightning quick.
All right, so that was the next 4 videos. So you had a chance to watch those. Now we're looking at the sideline referee. We've mentioned before that positioning is the critical factor. We're too far from the winger quite often, and we have late or no effective transition prior to field entry. Again, I've mentioned some of this stuff already. Both have different root causes. The first one, sideline referee out of position, hugging sideline. We need to move to a position 1 to 2 meters from the winger to achieve proximity. Talk to the wing and link, and then the middle if required. Make sure our buddy ref can hear us all the time. Okay, we've mentioned this stuff. That gives us that straight line we've been talking about. In terms of that positioning for the field entry, if we're late to move, it's because we haven't read play. We haven't anticipated that interchange. We haven't moved then from the position of assisting support management of the 7 meters through to preparation to enter the field. So what does that mean for us? If we can get that right, early field entry, enhanced 7 meter management, great presence. We then have more time to set our 7 meters, more time to preload. Not only that, if you're looking at good field entry positioning, it's entering and positioning into that space behind the link. Not behind the winger. We're not deep enough. We're not penetrating the field far enough if we're coming in behind the winger. It's got to be in behind the link. It can even be between the link and middle if you have enough time. But don't push to be that far in to sacrifice your ability to then manage that 7. If you can manage from the first touch onwards, then you're going to have greater awareness from players and better outcomes in the game, leading to less penalties if you can get that stuff right. Support, we've mentioned this before. I'm not going to read through it. You can read through it if you want to. Pause, have a look. All about that umbrella effect, making sure that we're switching on rather than switching off when we exit, getting that 7 meter straight line that we want. 4th point, advantage. Okay, I don't have videos of this from day 1, but I saw a lot of it happening out on other fields, external to field 3, across all 4 days. So I mentioned it earlier. I'm not going to go into details of it. Basically, the root cause is blowing the whistle too early. The remedy is to make sure we're following the actual process, verbalize the infringement, move towards the mark, assess the situation as you're doing so. When you get there and you know no advantage can take place, blow your whistle, okay, because advantage is already not able to occur, and follow the sequence. Signal, mark, where you want them to be onside. This provides the opportunity for advantage to be taken by the non-offending team. It also allows us time to move into appropriate positions, not just the on-field, but the off-field referees as well, and manage the situation and the game in general. If we can manage the game to the best of all of our abilities, not just the one referee, all three of our abilities, we will get better game outcomes. There is no doubt about it. So we need to work together. We need to communicate, control and manage the 7 meters, and work together. Those are the critical factors. Okay, we're going to watch a couple more little clips. Think about those 4 aspects. Think about what you see and how they operate in these couple of clips.
The division, they've been waiting all day to play a couple of games. They've had a later start to their National Youth Championship, so this game should be a cracker.
So take of that what you will. They might be fresh. They could also be very exhausted having sat around for some time, but I think they're still going to bring their A game, that is for sure. 20 minutes on the clock for this first half, 40-minute match in total, and the Scorpions will have first use of the ball. Away they come, heading upfield now. It's a good little run here, popping in from Flynn, who then provides from right to left. Dropped off here from Berryman Duff. Ooh, heavy contact there. I thought that could have gone either way, but the referees have ruled in favour there of the Swans.
Yeah, the Swans team, they're very fortunate for this event. They've got a very experienced coaching staff. I noticed down in their sub-box they've got James Hegedus, fresh from the State of Origin series in the Mixed Open Division, where he played very, very well, and Lockie Pearce. A lot of people would know Lockie Pearce. He is from the Swans, has played for Cowboys in various events, so good to have both of them here at the junior event.
Yeah, certainly some big names on both sides of the pitch, including Sam Shepherd, who goes in here. I was just about to mention him as a player that we've seen doing some great things over the past couple of years, and he started in exactly that fashion. The Painaway scoreboard now reads 1 try to nil.
Young age, and be interesting to see his path going forward.
See how much of an impact he can have on this one as well. He's already certainly staked a claim to be player to watch. Here he is again, Bailey Deacon. Oh, what a beautiful delay on that pass. And then the movement off the back of it from Thomas Fry. Well, he burnt them up. However, what have they ruled here? I think it might be a touch pass potentially.
Well, very close to it. There's certainly a half chance there, and very good play by Bailey. They've called a 6 touch there, so hand over to Scorps.
Okay.
So they didn't get the extra bonus few metres there for a penalty, thankfully.
Jeez, I thought he might have just evaded him in time.
Yep, very good play. Good smarts there by Bailey. We've spoken about him a little bit, so I would expect some good things from him in this particular outing.
So ball left behind here from the Scorpions already. They're showing their hand here. Southwest Queensland Swans. It's a hand they might not be able to contain, namely in the form of Bailey Deacon, who once more is on the ball here. Drops it off. Rogers pops into acting half. And now a run coming away from McGrath. Rogers on once more. O'Callaghan back towards the centre. Now comes for Wilmot. Wilmot drives forward. Back once again for O'Callaghan. Last play now. Wilmot, ball over the top. Or just had to pull up on the run. If it was out in front of him, it was a try for all money, but they still managed to scramble quite well there, the Scorps.
Yeah, the Scorpions winner did really well. He had a bit of work to do to make sure that the winger from the Swans couldn't score in the corner and forced him in field. So very good play there.
So they head towards their substitutions area. The transition is a pretty good one so far. Forward they come now, the Scorpions up over halfway. Good momentum about this set. Dummied out there from Stringer. Still alive with it. Last play now for the Scorpions. Forward comes Baum. Baum looking for an opening, but he just couldn't find one. Well, I thought he might have been clutching as well there at a hip just for a moment, but he seems okay now, Baum. So the Swans to work it away from their own end. Baum comes in with the touch. O'Callaghan heading towards the subs box. Rogers in at acting half. Deacon out there once more. Finds Lucido. Deacon now off. Sharp work there from Braithen Scott. Touch in there from the Scorpions. No, referee said that's been left behind, so no stray hand. Really good start from both sides here, playing at a very good pace, Phil.
Yeah, they've gone well, and the Swans have obviously had some success early in this particular game against the Scorpions, but the Scorpions seem to be a little bit more comfortable with what they're facing here against the Swans, and have repelled them the last few sets, so good roll on here coming into the line.
Great hands from Fletcher a couple of plays ago, and trying to get the foot involved as well. Of course, no kicking in touch football. Could make things quite interesting if we start introducing that concept in the game. But the Swans will work it away from their own line now. All very flat pass there from Ford.
So, reflection time. As you would have noticed, hopefully, there are multiple obvious issues in each video, and they are different. This doesn't say that they match up with where I've put them, so you should be able to see evidence of those aspects as well as others. Remember, as I said before, there were other trends, there were other issues that we were able to identify. They just weren't common across multiple fields at multiple times on multiple days. So, open to any suggestions that you have in any of the videos. I'm sure if you identify any referees that you know, they'd be interested in hearing some feedback as well, as long as it's constructive or proactive. Remember, each of the referees in the video are only featured in the video because they're on freebie KO, so they're able to be accessed for no cost. So therefore, it's public viewing. Please ensure that if you are talking to them about anything you've seen, that they are aware that that's how you saw it, and that you are coming from a constructive or proactive manner. Okay, because these videos are not here to destroy or put down anybody. They're just here to showcase some elements for us all to educate and improve what we do. So, take the opportunity to reflect on your own referee performance. Check out your own referee coaching knowledge, but also seek feedback from other referee coaches on your refereeing if you're still refereeing. Make sure it's specifically related to the key points raised in this presentation at the moment. These are the factors we want everyone to get right. The other stuff will come if you get this right. Seek support from your referee coach. If you don't have one, as always, reach out to us. We are here to help. If you have questions, contact us anytime. Thank you for listening. I hope you've got something out of it. I wish you all the best on your referee or your referee coach journey, and we hope to hear back from you soon or have you tune in for the next episode.